Minority Leader Hortman, thank you for joining us. How would you describe the state of the state in January 2017?
I think the state of the state gives the governor a chance to present his vision to the state of Minnesota and how he plans to enact that vision through the budget. You know, the state budget isn't the only way to affect life in Minnesota. We have policy bills, but the budget is really substantial in terms of shaping life in Minnesota, in terms of what the government can do for people. And so presenting his budget in the state of the state gives him a chance to kind of outline his vision and how he'll make that a reality through the budget.
And what do you hope to hear when he gives his State of the State address?
Well, what I expect to hear is what we've heard from Governor Dayton throughout. He's been very consistent as a governor, both his first term and now halfway through his second term, that he's really about standing up for working families and making a better Minnesota. And what that means is a better K-12 system, better early childhood opportunities, better higher education opportunities. So I think he's been very consistent being focused on the working families in Minnesota.
And now that you're minority leader, does your perspective change on the state of the state?
I don't think so. I consider myself a pretty good team player. Here in the state legislature, you learn early in your service that it's a team sport. And if you have a great idea, it doesn't matter unless you can get 68 people to agree with you in the Minnesota House and 34 in the Minnesota Senate and the governor. And so you have to think about in terms of building coalitions on broad areas that people can get behind. And so I look at the state of the state as a Democrat. That's my governor. I'm really pleased with the vision that he presents for Minnesota. I'm really pleased with the work that he does and his focus on working families and kind of being somebody who will stand up for the little guy as opposed to big special interests that have plenty of strength on their own. They don't need our help.
You've been a proponent of making childcare more affordable, providing college tuition relief. Two topics that we can expect the governor to probably touch on during his speech. Does the House DFL support the governor's tax credit proposal for childcare and college tuition?
Absolutely. I think that it's important that the legislature take the opportunity to improve people's lives when we can. And this is one area where families really struggle. You know, the average working class family out there right now is saying, I don't know if I can help my kid pay for college. I really want my child to attend state college or university, but I don't know if I want them to have debt, and I don't know how much of my income I can dedicate. And the tax credit would just make it a little bit easier to say yes to helping their students. And then with childcare, as a working mom, you know, my kids are now 19 and 21, but for several years as a working mom, my biggest struggle was finding really high quality childcare where I knew that my children were learning something during the day when I was at work, but it was also affordable, so it didn't take my entire paycheck. And I think to the degree we can help families pay for childcare, that's something that will really meaningfully improve their lives.
Like you, the governor is a DFLer. How much does what he says in his address affect the thinking or priorities of your caucus over the next 4 months of the legislative session?
Well, we're all Democrats for a reason. And the big unifying theme for Democrats is standing up for working families. So I would expect that we're going to be very much on the same page and working very well together as a team. It's really a different dynamic here at the Capitol this year with the Republicans in charge of the House and the Senate. And I think one of the most important things, given the dynamic that we have a Democratic governor and we have Republican legislature, is to look for those areas where we can agree and where we don't have to have partisan fights. We can do good work together for the people of Minnesota. So that's what I'm, in my role as minority leader, most focused on, finding where can we get things done.